All right, what's up, guys? It's your boy SAK Hirobi, joined by my three spectacular friends, Busted, Kirby, and Straight. Uh,
Where?
this is this is shut the fuck up. This is the beginning of a fun new series we are doing. If anybody has any names who want to do it on the fly, feel free to shout them out. Um, but basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a draft of some commanders for different colors. We're going to start with the monocoloreds. As you can see, white for the Wooburg. And we're just going to draft our 5 top/favorite mono white commanders today. And the next time it'll be blue, and then black, and then red, then green. Then we'll go down the list of the other color combinations. It'll be a snake draft. So I'll be going first this episode. And yeah, we'll go from here, see if this series picks up, which I really think it will. It's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Go for it, Hirobi. Lead us off with your
Well-
round one, pick one.
Well, I'm drafting first, as my lovely associate Dawson just said. So for my first pick, I have a lot that I can choose from. Mono White's a classic. So I'm going to go with what I think is probably not only one of my favorites, but arguably one of the most powerful, especially in more competitive scenes, but also just because I'm a lover of this style of play. I'm going to pick Heliod Suncrowned.
Fuck.
The ability to give stuff lifelink, Walking Ballista is super strong. Being an indestructible enchantment before you hit 5 devotion is unreal. It's got evasion because of an indestructible enchantments are extremely hard to deal with. Aside from stuff like farewell. And it has counter synergies, which means it can be good as the commander, but also like if you're not playing it as the commander in the 99 of like a Selesnya counters matter deck, it can go insane. The card's just awesome. With that, I will pass to, I believe, Kirby.
Yep, Kirby, then me, then Busted.
Alright. For me, I'm gonna go with a card that, when it came out, I think was kind of a turning point for mono white and really kind of enabled it on a larger scale, and that's Mangara the Diplomat, because that was around the time that they started adding some more draw effects for white. And I think Mangara does it beautifully.
Really solid pick there, dude.
Very, very
Love
good.
Mangara.
He was just outside my top 10, so I really respect it. Heliod was in my top 5, so thanks, Hirobi.
Yep, you're welcome.
I am debating between these two, and I do have one card as my 1 and one card as my 2, and I think that Busted will take my 1 if I don't take them, but I think I have to take my clear number 1. I'm taking Shram, Senior Edificer. It's like one of the first good mono white commanders. Like SRAM was just like when mono white commander around 2011, like Kaladesh time, was really getting ramped to going. SRAM was like one of the first mono white commanders to be like everywhere. It used to be everywhere because like vehicles are so good, equipment was really really good, and just being able to have that draw engine in white at that time. SRAM today even is really super good for mono white, especially if you're going equipment and auras or whatever. So SRAM is one of the OGs really when it comes to mono white. Before all these new mono white good cards, Kirby brought up Mangara came around the time when it started getting good. SRAM was like the founding father of mono white being good. So I think SRAM is a very good pick here, and is my round 1 pick. Busted.
I'll say that I'll comment on that real quick. Just super, it won't take long. I think SRAM and Mangara are both awesome picks because only Mangara was in my top 17. Not SRAM for some reason. Both of them are card draw in the command zone, which is huge in mono white. Go ahead, Busted.
Oh, I just want to say, although Shram was not in my top 5, he was barely edged out. Shram is definitely a high pick for me as well because, like Straight said, it's one of the founding fathers of mono white having something to do. And again, card draw in the command zone, like Obi said, is very good. That being said, my pick 1 was going to be Giada,
Yep.
Pontapo.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
the one. That's the one.
She was my number 2.
I did assume this would be pretty high on all of our lists, and I put it as my number 1 because it being initial ramp for mono white because she herself can tap for white mana, and the fact that scaling wise, as long as you keep, which angels are typically pretty good. They're flyers. They typically have lifelink too. So they become a big issue if not dealt with. That being said, my pick 2, because again we're doing a snake formation. Once I do my pick 2, we'll go back to straight and we'll go in verse order. My pick 2 is one that I think is pretty near and dear to my heart because it was the first mono white deck I ever made, and that's going to be Runetail Kitsune Ascendant.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yep.
This one
Was
augurs a
not on
lot
my
of
list, but I respect it.
hate. This one augurs a lot of hate because at first it's just a 3-mana 2/2 that says when you have 30 or more life, flip him. Well, the moment you flip him, he makes it where all damage that would be dealt to creature you control get negated. So, it has fun little interactions such as having cards that make it where your creatures can block more than one thing, or you could typically have some form of mitigating damage to yourself and moving it to a creature, which then mitigates it completely. So Runetail is really near and dear to my heart. As I said, it's my first mono white commander, so I enjoy it a lot.
Oh yeah.
No, very very good pick. Runetail was also on my list somewhere. My pick 2. This is really tough. I'll be honest. There's a lot. I think there's a tier break here soon with mono white commanders. At least to me, like mono white's cool, but like I think top mono white commanders are few and far between. Mono blue is a little bit different. Mono green,
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera. So I think I have to kind of go power a little bit earlier than I want to, but I am going to go with one of the newer powerhouses of mono white, Elish Norn, Mother of Machines.
God damn it.
Yeah, I mean,
Love Mommy.
Elish Norn is actually my number 5 pick technically, but I felt like I need to pick up Elish Norn here, even though there's one pick ahead of it that's still available. Elish Norn, again, there's a bunch of people said, hey, this should be banned before it even hits Commander, when it was spoiled initially, which I don't think it needs to be that far, don't get me wrong, but it's brutal. It can be very brutal because entering the battlefield triggers are pretty prominent, especially in today's Commander scene, and Elish Norn amplifies that even more so for yourself. So not only you're getting rid of, possibly a really important part of other people's decks, you're also amplifying your own. So Elish Norn can be a really big hate bear. It's a little bit more fair than the original Elish Norn, but I guess Elish Norn back then wasn't that bad either, but compared to other Praetors. But I love Elish Norn, Mother of Machines. She's, I think, one of those newer commanders that just is hitting the scene, and you really don't want to see Elish Norn across the table, especially for 5 mana. It's pretty brutal for what she can do. So yeah, she's my number 2 pick.
Solid. For me, I think I'm gonna go with Pearlier Imperial Advisor.
Ooh.
I mean, it's
Another
got
good one.
lifelink. It's a really powerful draw engine in the command zone, and it reduces the cost of all of your auras. It just does so much, goes out of control so quick, and he's a powerhouse. There's no doubt about that. He can dish out some damage very quickly, and usually has pretty good sustain too, unless enough people draw removal, because he is a magnet for that.
Actually, I haven't seen him very often, so it's a very unique pick. Curb, I like that.
I dig it.
Well, he is new.
Yeah, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Am I good to go, Curb?
Yep, you're good to go.
Cool. So for this next pick especially, several of the ones that I wanted were taken, or actually just one of them, Elish Norn. So I do kind of still have quite the plethora available to me. So this is actually getting kind of difficult because I don't know if I want to pick one that I like or if I want to go with power. Because the ones that I like, I don't think will be taken, because I think at this point, because mono white is rather shallow, the power ones are going to get taken first. So, that being said, I think I'm going to go with one that is that is pretty powerful, but also that I thoroughly enjoy playing. And it's probably my favorite mono white tokens strategy deck. My favorite mono white go wide deck, and I think everybody kind of saw this coming. It's the OG Ellis Nord.
Mhm.
Ellis Nord Grand Cenobite, you know her, you love her. Vigilance, arguably the best anthem in the game. Shuts down go wide little guys, makes your board extremely formidable. Goes absolutely bonkers in the Kudo King Among Bears deck. Busted. So I love this card. I love this card, especially with stuff like Harmonious Archon. Also pairing really well with any token generator plus Divine Visitation can make this card spiral very, very quickly. So that is my pick 2.
All right, what's your pick 3?
I was going to say, who would pick
Oh.
queen?
Oh, I went first though. Did I get to pick again?
Yeah, it's a snake draft.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
how snake order goes.
Damn.
Pretty powerful.
Okay, well, I guess I got to get this out of the way because mommy's here. It's Avacyn Angel Hope. I fell in love with this card as soon as it was printed. Also, as soon as I was gifted it for my birthday when I was 15, still have a copy. Probably my favorite mono white card in the game. I didn't take it first because I knew that Heliod would be gone fast, and I think that Heliod is inherently stronger. She is a much more one-dimensional card, but that one dimension is absolutely absurd. You get to play board wipes, you get to buff her up with hexproof, which means that once she has hexproof, it's virtually impossible to get rid of her except when your opponent plays shit like Plague Crafter or Fleshbag Marauder, and she's the only thing out, which very typically she won't be. But I mean, just like even though that limitation that she has is a limit, like quote unquote limited like effect, you can do so much with it, dude. Avacyn's badass. With that, I'll pass over to my buddy Curb. Or sorry, is it
Yeah, it's Kurt.
Dawson?
Let's go.
It's Curb. It's Curb.
All right, for my pick 3, I'm gonna go with. I did have Gyara in my list as well, Fontainebleau, because, like Busted said, does a lot of stuff for Angels. But one of the more kind of OG Angel commanders, Saphara Skyblade.
Hell yeah, dude.
She's pretty sweet. She comes out, gives all of your flyers indestructible. She's got lifelink and she's a 7/7. And as long as you control 4 untapped creatures with flying, which could even be like, like little 1/1 spirits with flying or whatever that you created, you can just pay 4 or pay 1 white mana, tap 4 untapped creatures with flying, and the commander tax, and get this baby out for super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very powerful. And Angels are just... they're kind of a staple white, so I figured I had to include Angels in here one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Solid.
Very, very solid. Saphara was not in my top tier, but she is really good, really decent. Going to my
You forgot she existed.
maybe. Next up for me, third pick here. There is 2 that I'm really in between, and this one has been rising really in my ranks. I'm going to pick this one because it means a little bit more to me than the other one. I'm picking God Eternal Oketra.
God. Yeah.
Sometimes me, Hirobi, and I have very, very similar taste when it comes to mono
Yeah.
white commanders.
She was my fourth. Fuck. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
And the reason I'm gonna go with God Eternal Oketra because the other Oketra is on my list somewhere, but she is far. Like at this pace, I'm not gonna get to her. Oh my gosh, by Hirobi, what the fuck? And the original Oketra means a lot to me too because again, that was around the time I started playing Magic, and I remember like Oketra and Hazoret and all them really going ham in Standard and really kind of being staple cards at that time, even for other formats. And of course, that's kind of petered off and more into Commander now. But God Eternal Oketra then came out, and I was kind of like, my God, like between Oketra and I think Kefnet in this set for War of the Spark, I was just enamored. I loved Oketra in the set, even though I don't play her very often. I really need to. She's exactly what I want to do. She's exactly everything I like in like a mono white type commander. Just beating face, making creatures, and making your board massive. And zombie warriors in mono white. Hell yeah! So I guess it's kind of cheating because it does make 4/4 black zombie warriors, but she's white, so it counts. But I mean, she's hard to get rid of, hard to deal with. But yeah, no, I love God Eternal Oketra for a couple reasons. She's powerful, I think, but she's also means a lot to me just with Oketra being in the previous sets that I came out in. So Oketra is my third pick.
Very valid. Very valid.
All right. Well, now that we're on the back end of things, I gotta say, I'm surprised nothing within my top 5 have been hit quite yet. Because I did preface this by trying to make sure I pick things that others may not pick.
Oh yeah, like Gionda fought a Pope.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay.
Yeah.
That was
the
not gonna be
number
nobody's
one
first
mono
pick.
white commander.
That was going to be nobody's first pick, right? 'Cause things like Elish Norn exist.
Well, actually, I'm kind of. If you look at my graveyard, so I've thrown my cards that I had in my top 11 in the graveyard.
I'm
Somebody else.
gonna do that as well.
Oh God, no! Look. I know for a fact nobody's got this in their top 5. My next one, and this one is going to we play into White's heaviest theme of life game.
Oh my God!
Right?
Thank God.
Oh, I thought about that one, but I did not go with it. That's a good one though. I like that one a lot.
Evra has been one of my favorite cards. Has been one of my favorite cards ever since the Dominaria.
It's so unique.
Is very unique, and it really catch people off guard because you can pay that 4 life at any time. If I swing at somebody, let's say I swung it at Straight, if he declares no blocks, I can pay 4 mana and boom, whatever my life total is now Evra's power. The only caveat with Evra is instant speed removal. If I pay that 4 mana and change my life total, and then somebody, I don't know, Chaos Warps it, I could be stuck at potentially 4 life. So you really gotta hedge your bets about when it's a good time to use that ability, if somebody's tapped out, or if you have some other life gain so it's not as bad.
Hexproof.
Hexproof, yes. Again, it can be easily dealt with, but at the same time, when the ball starts rolling, let's say I was at 40 life and I swapped it, and I now gain 40 life. Both Evra's at 40 and I'm at 44 life, so I can just continually chain that with Evra to make a very big life-linking creature.
If they add like a bunch of fight effects in white for some reason, I don't know why they would, but if that happens, Evra's gonna go through the roof.
It is
incredible.
Extremely true.
Again, I didn't figure this would be in anybody's top 5. This is really I thought about it right here.
Unironically, I did too, Curb. I saw her on the mono white list in EJ Drake, and I was like, huh, she's cool.
I play her in every green white deck I play. If it's a life gain deck and it's green white, I'm playing.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's your pick again, right, Busted?
Yeah, it is. This one is going to probably be in somebody's top five, and it goes even farther back than some of these other choices on the list. Even Shram, and that's going to be Odric, the Dark Marshall.
Yep.
He was in my top 5, but he was at the bottom of my alternates. So
Gotcha. I figured he would be in somebody's top five. He's keyword suit in uh the easiest sense. As long as you're playing other creatures with keywords or some that gain keyword counters, you're just going to be an unstoppable force 9 times out of 10. And flying's very easy to come by in mono white. First strike, double strike, indestructible, lifelink. Again, there's a lot of different keywords in just mono white that makes Odric a powerhouse, even if he's in your command
I mean,
zone.
he even includes some like really interesting ones too. Like double strike, for example, is one that usually gets left out just because it's so strong.
look at
But
Skulk
he
on there.
includes it, and
Skulk.
yeah, Skulk is. I was
Skulk.
literally gonna bring up Skulk next because that's insane.
Well, another thing about Odric that is like very, very important to recognize, because today in modern Magic, one of the keywords that is running rampant, I mean, it's not a bad thing necessarily, is ward. Odric does not care about ward because Odric gives all of your stuff hexproof. That is massive. Same thing for indestructible. Like giving everything on your board that keyword, if only one of your creatures has that keyword, can be a game swinging ability.
Definitely. And one more thing I want to recognize before I pass it back to Stray here for the beginning of pick 5, right?
Pick 4.
I want to mention
Pick 4.
before pick 4 for him, because I'm left with only pick 5. This is at the beginning of each combat. So again, if you have, say, vigilance, you can swing your whole team, and then the next combat on your opponent's turn, you can still use them as blockers with all of these extra abilities attached to them.
Yeah,
So
true.
indestructible.
Absurd.
Again, you're
Death
you're
touch.
above the West.
Yeah, insane. Good pick.
All right, Straight. Pick 4.
Odric was my number 9. I love Odric. He kind of falls in that category of Shram for me, of like good classic. Like he was really good before everything was really good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with this pick. And again, it's kind of reaching because I'm gonna skip the one that I kind of debated on with God Eternal Ketra because they kind of overlap, and I don't like overlap in my drafts. So I like being a well-rounded team. This one's gonna be for all like the popper type commander players. This is gonna be for all the cheap like budget deck commander players. Of like when you build a mono white commander that's good and cheap, not only for the commander but also just to build around. I'm gonna go Tesher, Ancestor's Apostle. It's a really niche. It kind of goes in that category of Evra, where it's a little bit more niche. People don't play them all the time, but Tesher was really popular when it comes to really cheap decks, and really popular when it comes to popper or the popper commander play style or whatever. Because Tesher's just so good at just like keeping up the game. Whenever you cast a historic spell, return target creature card 3 or less to the battlefield, and it's just so good when you can build around those cheap creatures that get so much value. And Tesher's hard to get rid of when it comes to board state. I think Tesher's really good, and I think it's just a classic when it comes to good, more budget-based commander, which I want to represent here in my draft, especially mono white. Because I remember around this time, not only was Tesher popular in limited, he became very popular on MTG Online or MTG Online because of how just consistent he made his board state. So Tesher is my 4th pick.
Nice. I like that pick.
All right, for my next pick, I am going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to cheat because there's actually 2 commanders that I have as my pick 4, and they don't have partner anyway. But they do have to go in the deck together, and that is Bruna the Fading Light and Gisela the Broken Blade. And the reason for that is because they meld together. And you can put either one of the 2 in the command zone depending on what you're kind of going for. Bruna has definitely the stronger ability with being able to on cast return angel or human creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield, which pairs extremely well with the other one, Gisela, just because if you do have Gisela in your graveyard, you can just cast Bruna, bring Gisela out, and suddenly you have both of them move to end step, and you're melding. So,
Solid one.
No.
but you can also go with Gisela, who only costs 4, and then you've got blocker in your command zone. Kind of depends on what strategy you want to go for. And melded together, they make
A chonker.
The
Priscilla.
motherfucking jonker.
Mother trucker, dude.
why are these upside down?
It's so bad. It's so.
All right,
it's
Kirby,
so
come
bad.
on now, man. Come on now.
Viewers, that's what they do.
You can do it.
That's what that does.
We believe
Here, I'm gonna help you out, Curb. Here you go. Just copy this, right?
No,
Here.
no.
No? That didn't work how I wanted to, so I'm a liar anyway.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
So that is my pick.
No one tell him. No one tell him.
No,
No one tell him.
tell him.
So I have my pick 4 and my pick 5 back to back. Which is pretty cool. Yeah. There's Bracella, Voice of Nightmares.
For the viewers. Okay.
Pretty cool. I've actually got a lot of my original options left, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really fucking hard because there are several that I like a lot. So I think we're gonna do this one first because I've played it before. It is so much fun to play with. It goes crazy good. It's all about. I mean, like some cards that you see on the field right now. It's basically just trying to do mono white card draw and make it good, which is really fucking hard. But it's worth it when E Honda is beating face as like a 48-48 when you have half your deck in your hand in mono white, and your opponents are like, how the fuck did we let this happen? He's in mono white. Sid Arcana is really, really, really cool. Not Sid Arcana. What am I talking about? E Honda. So as long as it's your turn, each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Makes it a super well, not unique because Arcades Strategy is a fucking card, but this card does it better. Arcades is an imposter. And whenever it attacks, up to 100 target creatures, each get +0/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. If you have a big board full of some big boys with beefy butts, just saying that 5 times fast. This deck can get out of control very, very quickly, and you have a lot of card advantage, but also some access to a lot of some of the best removal in the game via mono white, because you're drawing through your deck, or trying to, or you can just play land tax, and that's fun too. For my last pick, I'm torn between 3, but I'm gonna go with the one that I have not built yet, and I think I want to build the most. Because I could go with a partner pairing that focuses on a very easy build around and ends up being very strong. I could go with a because I'm not gonna go with that. I could go with a token tripler. But instead, I'm gonna go with something that is kind of akin to the other machine mommy. I'm gonna go with Gandalf the White.
Yep.
My pick 5. It is a 5 mana 4/5 with flash. I may cast, or you may cast, legendary spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. If a legendary permanent or an artifact entering or leaving the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time. Now, will I say that Wizards is doing that too much, the quote-unquote additional time thing too much? Absolutely. But I think Gandalf does it in a pretty unique and fun way with legendaries and artifacts, because those are typically the two strongest card types in the game. Artifacts are ridiculous when you build around them, so are legendaries. And I think Gandalf puts a pretty unique build together by combining the respective powers of legendaries and artifacts. So Gandalf the White is my number 5 pick.
Excellent.
All right. For my number 5 pick, I will be honest. This pick I'm putting down because when I was looking through the mono white commanders, coming up with the list for this draft, I saw this card and I was like, I think this card could go somewhere, and I want to take it there. So that was my reasoning for my pick number 5, and that is Fortune Loyal Steed. It looks fun to build around. It looks like it would be pretty solid, and it can, again, as Hirobi just said, the ETB triggers can be pretty powerful, and Fortune can essentially get a flicker effect going.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
flickers have never been bad.
This is true.
Yep.
And saddling. Who doesn't like saddling?
Saddling is super cool. And spoiler alert, I'm very excited for a saddle card in Golgari that I hope gets passed to me.
We'll make sure that doesn't happen. It's okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Man,
we're,
fuck
we're,
you.
we're gonna make sure we do
Hey,
our
pick.
research.
Hey,
and
draft.
You know.
And Dawson, what do you have for number 5?
Man, I'll be honest with you, Curb. I was real scared you were about to take mine because you started talking about like, it's not like it's got something. It's something that could be a card. It was unique. I thought I'd pick it because this is absolutely has no right to be in a draft like this. But I every other top pick I have are already covered either by tokens, by power, by OG-ness, by meaningfulness. Because I was thinking about putting DeZero here, the Planeswalker guy. I'm not doing that because I'm going back to the OG guy, Isamaru, Hound of Kanda, the one.
Oh my god, I looked at him and I wanted to put him in.
The 1 mana 2/2, the most broken card in Magic.
This boy, if you want a challenge, if you want something to do, Isamaru is out here to be your Voltron commander. Let him off the leash and let him go ham. He was the original challenge in EDH. He was the challenge when EDH was a thing. If you wanted to build a deck that was just going to be hard as hell to build around, you built Isamaru. Because, man, Isamaru is a dog! Fucking dog here! And Isamaru is not only the best pick in this draft, he's the best pick in every draft. Isamaru is the GOAT.
He's the goodest boy.
He's the goodest boy.
I really don't know how I'm supposed to follow that up. I mean, you played the strongest card at the table, so I really don't know if I should even put pick 5 on the board now.
No, you pass. You pass.
Okay. So to round it all out, I've had my Tribal with Angels, I've had my Pillow Fort with Woundtail, Life Gain with Evra, and just, keyword Super Fodric. The last one I'm going to do is actually a token deck. So this one is probably one of the newest ones at the table, and it is Apothecary White. So if y'all don't know, this year they made a Clue branded package with Magic cards.
What is
so
this card?
you played Clue with Magic cards, and every time you dealt damage to somebody, you would get to make your guess and make treasures. And it's really cool and really weird. But all of these cards were also Commander legal. So I think most of them that were monocolored. Apothecary White is mono white. And she says that whenever you attack, you make food for each player being attacked. She herself has vigilance, so you can attack her. And then afterwards, you can tap her and make food, or tap her, tap all the food that you've made, and make that many humans. And then those humans can attack on the subsequent turns, and you're just going to keep building and building and building more advantage on the board. You can sack those food later for life gain if need be. And there's so many ways to double tokens in white, even without adding things like Glean, that, you could easily make 6 food a turn and then make 12 humans. It's insane.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well,
Holy moly!
kind of similar. Can I have like a bonus pick here, real
Oh, yeah,
quick?
throw it out
I
there.
was gonna do that as well. Go ahead, Curb.
I'm real sad to see that Darian didn't come out.
thought
I had him as
He,
one of
he
my
was
picks.
he was my sixth. He was my sixth.
Sorry, go ahead.
But he deserves a little round of applause. He's such an OG and such an interesting little card. Very cool.
Man.
Very.
I'm gonna shout something out too. It's another newer one, and I know that people typically hate on the like the non-set Universes Beyond cards, like E Honda. My fifth pick that I was bouncing between with Gandalf was Zank, Paladin Unbroken. 4 mana 2/4 double strike, auras you control have exalted. I think that is such a unique and cool fucking ability, which is a super cool way to take a Voltron deck in. And knowing me, I'm a enormous lover of Voltron. I love equipments, love auras. I just think this would be kind of akin in a way to Pearl Ear, a super fun auras commander.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like Mono White, while it doesn't have very many top end picks, I think after the second round, we really started getting some more niche stuff. It definitely has good depth afterwards. I'll give it that. It has a good depth in that good, 6, 7 out of 10 type pick. So we'll give it some credit here. But I think that was our Mono White draft here today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more here soon. Let us know down below who you think won, who do you like the best, and which pick do you think did not get picked that you think should have gotten picked. Either way, guys, we'll see you in the next one.
Stay
out.
white.
Peace.
What did Kirby?
Leave that in.
Stay
Leave that
white.
in. Leave that in.
Oh.
Leave that in.
What?